The best thing about having a YouTube plant channel is you never have any plants that die. All of your plants are perfect and just thrive. Yes, I'm not telling you the truth. As you all know, I'm very honest about the condition of my plants. I've mentioned some that didn't make it, some I've just killed. I mentioned my first Monstera albo that I never showed you guys because it wasn't around long enough to show. Well, today we're going to talk about some of those plants, and I'm going to show you what they looked like when they started and what they looked like after I got a hold of them. It's all part of the learning process. Hello and welcome to Peggy's Plants, coming to you from the Florida Keys. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community where millions of people come together to explore and develop creative interests. Class topics include productivity, crafts, music, creative writing, and photography, just to name a few. Skillshare is for lifelong learners of all skill levels. Most Skillshare classes are under 60 minutes with short lessons to fit any schedule. My most recent Skillshare class was Gardening 101 taught by Geraldine Lavin. It went over the basics of gardening as well as propagation concepts. I'm sure it'll come in handy when I set up my new garden at my new home. The Skillshare platform is continuously launching new premium classes without ads. With an annual subscription, you can take as many classes as you want for less than $10 a day. The first 1,000 subscribers to click the link in the description box will get a free premium membership trial. So click the link and check it out. Now let's get back to the plant video. I need to ease myself into my fails, so we'll start with the we've made up category. And for some of you, I'm sure you're shocked to see I'm talking about my Begonia maculata whitey eye that I got. It was part of the Costa Farms collection. Had never had a begonia before. Wasn't too sure about getting this plant, but I got it and I fell in love with this plant and it seemed like I could do no wrong. Now I live in the Keys, so I can leave plants out year round. And this plant was one of those plants that stayed on my patio. This is footage of what this plant looked like after I'd had it for like 4 or 5 months. It was doing great and growing beautifully, but I brought it inside so I could see it every day and it started losing leaves. This is what it looks like now. It's not quite as full, but hey, it has stopped dropping leaves. I ended up having to put it in Leica pellets because that was the only way I could keep this plant alive. I thought I was really going to lose it. So I kind of consider this a fail, but not so much a fail. So it's my soft fail. But it looks like it's going to make it. It's actually putting off some new growth, as you can see here. So I'm still loving this plant. I'm glad we made up. We're friends now. I think we're going to make it through. The next category is the what was I thinking? I have no idea what I was thinking. What happened was I was watching that crazy plant guy, Christian, and he does so well with these ficus. And I saw one at a local nursery and I decided to pick it up. I got this plant for $25. It had 2 in there. I was so excited. I've never had a rubber plant. I've never had any kind of ficus that I cared for indoors. And I don't know what I was thinking, but this plant was so cute. I decided to buy it and give it a chance. I saw Christian's video. His ficus are so big and beautiful, so I said, mine will be too. Wrong. This is what my little Tanike looks like today. I mean, ugh, I'm sick about this plant. As you can see, it dropped leaves like nobody's business. The few leaves that are on here now have been on here for months, but I don't see really any new growth other than this little part coming out of the top of one of them. But I don't know what I was thinking. I know nothing about taking care of these plants and everyone makes it sound so easy, but for some reason ficus just don't work for me, and I don't know. I'm doing good just to keep these few leaves. And like I said, my ficus is on life support. So what do? I go get not one, but 2 little fiddle leaf figs from the Costa Farms collection because things will be different this time. You see this plant? This was how it looked early on. I couldn't even find footage of when I first got it, but this was after like a month or so. And as you notice, I'm just showing you one because the other one didn't even make it that far. So this is what one of them looks like now. I had to just set it outside in my yard. It gets watered twice a week from the sprinkler system, and I ignore this plant. It has the nerve to be getting new leaves and things like that and acting like it has the will to live. But at this point, I'm still ignoring it because it has hurt my feelings. I don't know what I was thinking about getting these fiddly figs. I'd heard about them. This is what the second one ended up looking like. I cut this back and everything. I was looking at videos. It said cut it back, So I cut it back and everything. And this thing just dried up. So I ended up with, as you can see here, some sticks and some soil. That is my second fiddly fig. And I tried everything with this plant. So, have you ever felt the need to just kind of do something crazy and you always talk about I'm just going to throw it in the yard? Well, I always say that when my plants don't do well. So with this one, I literally took it and tossed it out in the yard and I left it there. I did what I needed to do to feel better. And that's it for the fiddle leaf figs. I will never buy another. Now, my most costly mistake was something that I haven't spoken a lot about, but I've mentioned here and there, and that was this Monstera albo borsigiana cutting that I purchased from eBay. Oh my gosh, I never paid a lot of money for a cutting ever. I prefer to buy rooted plants for a reason. I do propagate a lot. I like rooting things and all that, but to go out and spend a whole lot of money on a single node with a aerial root and one leaf. Oh my goodness. I had heard that these can be difficult sometime to root if you don't know what you're doing. But I'm like, hey, I've got plenty of experience rooting plants, propagating plants. I can do this. Well, once again, I was wrong, and this was a very costly mistake. I started off putting it in the leca pellets because that's how I root a lot of my plants, and I don't have to worry about them rotting with this. I feel very confident with this method. So I put the plants in the cutting in the leca. I was recording everything so that I could eventually show this to you, but I did not think I would be sharing it as a failed video, but it is what it is. It didn't do anything in the leca. It was taking forever to show any kind of growth. So I went and I put this in sphagnum moss. And I don't like to root a lot of things in sphagnum moss because I'm not as confident in that method with some plants. And what happened? I put it in the sphagnum moss. Within a couple of weeks, this plant was history. It was rotten. It was gone. My money was down the drain. So that's the story of my first Albo borsigiana. And in the glad it's gone category is this variegated Mickey Mouse alocasia. I know it's not really an alocasia, but that's what they call it. So that's what I'm calling it because I don't even like this plant. I'm not going through the trouble of calling it its correct name. This plant really put me through some changes. I purchased this at a local nursery. I had never seen one before. I was very excited about this plant and I only paid $25 for it. It was a good size, but some of the leaves were kind of curly and things, and some things just, I knew something was up with this plant, but I didn't see any pest on it or anything when I was looking. I came home, I treated it and all of that, and I was so excited about this plant. I think it's a cool looking plant, and I loved the variegation on it. So after I'd say a week, we're doing okay, right? And then leaves start falling. And these leaves, they're so big you hear them when they fall. And I go and I look over this plant really well and I see spider mites. So I totally cut it back down to no leaves at all, just to the nubs. And After a few weeks, this is the growth I had. I was like, okay, we can do this. And I even cut took some of the tubers or bulbs or whatever and put them inside. So I'm like, I'm going to separate them. I treated the soil. I treated the plants as soon as they started to grow. Everything. I'm like, okay, I have this. This is going to be a success story. So as you see here, everything was going well. The plants are growing. I'm a happy camper. Well, the happy camper phase didn't last very long. A week or so goes by and I look at this plant and this is what I see. It has spider mites all over it again. And I'm like, how can this be? I have never had so much difficulty getting rid of spider mites, but this plant was holding on to them like nobody's business. So that's how this one ended up looking. And even the one indoors that was cut down to nothing, new soil, everything treated, it started growing and it started fading. And I look at it really well again, giving it an inspection, and lo and behold, spider mites all over again. And as you can see, this was indoors with my other plants. Unfortunately, it didn't spread. You can see the webbing right there. But yeah, so this plant, I didn't wait until these plants died. I just went on and got rid of them because I totally got sick of dealing with them. I went through the cutting back 2 or 3 times and treating and all of this because I really wanted this plant. And in the end, they both got tossed into the trash. Honestly, I hope I never see another one of these plants ever in life. So that's about it for my plant fails. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.